You know what? We actually mentioned the YP Collective soon to be Careers Lab. Careers Lab.
Career Lab.
Yeah, so you got your right. I'm so sorry, my brain's fried. But let's talk about how you got started. So what is YP Collective? How did it all start?
So YP Collective started as a bit of a call to arms. Sick and tired of listening to negative portrayal of young people in the media, on social media, in the news. Just, sly digs and actually full on outrageous ones as well. I think it was on my way to work once and I saw a headline in some tatty newspaper that I shan't mention, but rhymes with Ailey fail. And it was something like, young people don't have any manners. And I was like, oh God, is there nothing else in the world going on? And at the time it was, credit crunch and high rates of youth unemployment. And I was thinking, what is this psychologically doing to people, to create these blockers of who they are innately, and broadcast this out to allow people to feel like they can leap over these hurdles, that they're not just intrinsically, crap. And I thought, it's enough. It's actually wrong as well, not just ethically, I believe, but just factually. I knew enough people who were under 25 who were killing it, who are so talented and doing amazing things that half the people double their age wouldn't even have the balls to do. And so I thought YP stands for actually hashtag young and proud. So that was the hashtag we used on social media as a shout out. Tell us why you're hashtag young and proud. And I wanted it in 60 seconds and I wanted it to come from them and for them as a practice to say themselves why they should be and why they are, almost as a kind of affirmation. And then share it. So I started collecting these videos. And it kind of took us on a bit of a journey. The whole youth unemployment thing became just crazy. At one point, we were over 1 million 16 to 25s not in education, employment, or training, and it became very much geared around, this ensuring companies actually have this ability and know how to take responsibility to notice the talent that is around them and get these people into their buildings, talking about diversity, talking about, entry level talent. Well, actually put your words into action and hire these people because they're not hard to find, actually. I have a similar thing at the moment where there's talking about a lot of skills gaps in young people. I don't know what language you're allowed to use. Maybe you can put emoji over, but it's fine.
Yeah.
There are no skills gap in young people.
Of course
I
not.
There are none. I know people who are half my age who can code, who can design websites, who can create motion design that looks like a Jaguar advert, who are, trading Forex because they've taught themselves, who are running businesses. Like, tell me where this skills gap is. I think the gap is not skills, it's noticing,
of course,
and looking and seeing. So, long story short, we did all of this around youth employment and this transition from learning to earning. Fascinated by it, the cultural shift from education into the workforce. And then suddenly I started noticing, actually, that's not the only transition. There are so many transitions in life, and they are so societally part of why we feel triggered that we've failed. And actually, they are moments of growth. It's just uncomfortable in the middle when you go, oh, I'm not happy here, so I want to be there. Or I'm not here, I'm not there, so how do I get there? Or I want to make a decision in my life that changes my lifestyle. There are so many moments. And the fascination I have is how many are there and why and what do they look like? So we've moved, really. That was the original. It was about youth employment. But we're broadening that now, and I shall stop talking for a moment because I just get a bit excited.
That's what I love, though, because I love talking to people such as yourself who are so passionate and get excited to talk about what they're working on. And it's like going back to what you said earlier about the 16 to 25-year-olds who are so amazing at what they do. And we've known each other for years, haven't we, since the Somewhere 2 days. Yeah. And like you said, I've worked alongside these people, and what they do is so incredible. And obviously, what you're doing is incredible. Also, I've got to say on our podcast, thank you for doing such an amazing thing for everyone. Thank you. And
It was an easy job. That's not a difficult job, to find incredible young people doing
yeah,
incredible things.
yeah,
You're a classic example of this. You know, you've taken something that is, you know, for many people quite a mystifying thing, and you demystified it.
hmm
You've taken orchestral music and translated it through into, you know, the current sounds we hear. But people have done that throughout centuries in music
hmm
and in all sorts of other topics. But you took hold at such a young age as well, you know, and we've grown since then.
yeah.
And you're still doing, and you're still the tenacity in creating something that translates and speaks to wider audiences is brilliant. I mean, there were
Thank you.
so many young people when I worked at Somewhere Too, which was such a great initiative. It was really fun, and I always sat in the office kind of doing all of the marketing and the event stuff and thinking, I want to go out there and
Yeah.
stuff my laptop, you know, missing the excitement.
Yeah.
But I'd hear about all these things, and I know there's some people who, you know, I know Pip and Nut, from my understanding, started had a lot of dealings with Somewhere Too, and how amazing! I've got their nut butter in my cupboard.
How mad is that?
Yeah, it's so cool.
It's mad,
Yeah.
isn't it? Because you see like people just grow so much, and you know you got their products in your house now. It's mad. Yeah, it
Yeah.
really is, because I
Never
can't.
fame.
Yeah, 'cause I always, I'm so proud of seeing people like grow so quickly as well, going from taking an idea, just an idea, and then taking it to that next level. And it makes me really proud, like a father figure, to say like they had like an idea, they've actually worked on it, had that tenacity, like you said, to actually take it from an idea to this
Yeah.
physical form, and to see it grow over the years. It's just an amazing thing, isn't it?
Oh, massively. And it's not easy either. Like the last 10 years, and not even considering what we're in now, but just the last 10 years, our scrabble out of the credit crunch. And this, what I wrote an article at the beginning of the year about this thing I coined of the missing millennial, of this, I don't know how much of the population, because I'm not in charge of the data and didn't quite have the time to start, you know, shuffling through the amount of it. But I bet you somebody with more skills than I and a bit more time would be able to tell you the exact figure of how many young people are there who, you know, entered the workforce when it got napalmed
Mm.
and it was a flattened wasteland / jungle of people scrabbling for any job across the world. And, you know, we're looking at levels of unemployment that are a lot more than what we experienced 10 years ago.
Mm.
What kind of generation are we going to not be able to see as well? That we're going to have to find different lenses to discover, to notice them, because they're not going to turn up in the way that you would expect. They're not going to present themselves in the skill sets and the, I'm in inner city London.
It's fine.
But they're not going to present themselves in the way that we expect talent to present themselves anymore. And when last time we had that level of unemployment, particularly around young people, we had a 70% spike in youth business, youth startups,
Wow.
young people starting their businesses. Why? The obvious answer would be that they gave themselves a job, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. But also, these are now people who are potentially the ones who are going to try and have to ride the wave this time around with a new set of people who will be mirroring them in the same situation. Only this is a really weird ball game now with
It is.
COVID.